It is time to get out of pocket. I'm your host, Michael Davis, streaming live from the little podcast studio right over here downtown North Wilkesboro. And I am joined by Podcast Smitty. Might have another guest coming in here very, very soon to talk what's been happening today. If you guys have been keeping up with the Olympics, you just know we now have our gold medal game officially in the books right now. We finished up the semifinal rounds earlier today, but did want to mention what's happening tomorrow on Out of Pocket with Michael Davies. You understand that the Boom Broadcasting personnel, we started with this little launch July 1st. And since then, we have received so much support from you guys, and it's been absolutely fantastic. We've had a lot of good content creation from Mike, from Mouthing Off with Mike, from Shannon with Quick Hits, with Sean, all our guests, all the people who have made this first month and a week possible. Well, after we announced this, we wanted to show the appreciation for you guys, and we announced a college football 25 giveaway. And this may be because we're so nice. This may be because we're also impatient. We want to give this game away. So we are closing the contest, and we are going to announce a winner tomorrow during Out of Pocket. So if you're watching Out of Pocket right now, this may be your last chance at this game. If you don't want to drop $70 on it, be sure you subscribe to the YouTube channel, comment, tell us what console you are, tell us what's your favorite team. Be sure you're following us on one of our social media posts. Also, shout out to Alan, by the way. Alan came up to me randomly today, and he's like, "Are you the guy from Broom Broadcasting?" I was like, "You know what? I am." That's a first. And it's quite the day. We got a huge slate in store for you, so be sure to be a part of this giveaway. And right now, I welcome in the one, the only guy from the Two Pointers podcast, the guy who had to moderate the trivia showdown between myself and Podcast Smitty. I got Trevor Everett. Now, just to make sure we can stay separated, I'm going to move Trevor over to the middle just so Shannon doesn't come over and attack me, even though he's like 5 minutes away from me. Trevor, I love the setup in the background, by the way.
Thank you. Yeah, we finally got that updated. I had an alternate camera and it did not work. So got some really cool stuff. I'm very happy that things are coming together, except for those that remember the nice, huge Kobe poster with his high school jersey in it. That has since fallen and broken. So yeah, we're out that. But try to switch cameras here. Yeah, there we go.
Oh, wow.
Got a little bit of,
that was
more of a. Yeah,
that looked like a glitch in the Matrix, but that's pretty cool.
But yeah, we got some cool stuff. Got the TV on the other side, watching the USA game that we just had, and super excited.
Yeah, pretty excited. Alan, great meeting you today as well. Just from speaking with you earlier today, it seems like you have a bright future ahead of you, being a go-getter and everything. So impressive. Keep it up. And Trevor alluded to it. We had some Olympic basketball today. Not only did we see France beat Germany and make it to the gold medal game, but Team USA beat Nikola Jokic, the Joker, and Team Serbia. And it didn't look like that was going to be the case all the way through, but a 17-point advantage in the fourth quarter for Team USA, outscoring the opposition 32-15. Allows Team USA to advance to the gold medal game 95-91. Shannon and I were talking about this backstage right before going on air. Shannon, what was your impression of this game? And do you think Team USA deserved to win it the way they came out of the gates?
To answer those parts of the question, my first thoughts were, do not lose hope, because this squad here has a lot of big guns on it. LeBron, they have Steph Curry, they've got KD, who has had a wonderful Olympics. Do not lose hope in this. Serbia matched Team USA shooting. They traded buckets with us in the very first like 5 minutes of that game, and they were shooting their lights out. They were pretty much looking at them like, we're here for this too. It's not just y'all. You were not the outright winner. And so just don't panic. It was tough because they had the guys down as much as 17 points. But does Team USA deserve to win that game? Absolutely. That second half was a different squad, different horse of a different color. They were hustling, they were scrapping, they had to get on the boards. That was one of the things that Serbia did better than Team USA in the first half was offensively rebound. And they had to clear the glass. LeBron talked about it in his postgame. He had to be a glass clearer because he had those guys in there already that was shooting all over the place. Chef was shooting all over the place. 36 points to finish the game. Almost beat Carmelo Anthony's record for most points. So they cleared the glass. They went after loose balls. They were gutsy. Joel Embiid was gutsy. And give it to him. They've been booing that man all Olympics. Like every time he touched the floor, he sneezed wrong. Boo! The whole time. They were giving that man a hard time. So give it to him. It was gutsy, but good win by the USA. Good job.
Shannon's giving Team USA a thumbs up. Trevor, you've watched a lot of basketball in your time, and you've seen a lot of teams come out complacent, come out struggling in the first half to only come back in the third and fourth quarter. It took a 17-point advantage in the fourth quarter, 32-15 for Team USA to come back, honestly, on the back of Steph Curry and his 36 points. Were you more impressed with the comeback, or were you more concerned of how long it took Team USA to get going?
They seemed gassed. Like, I don't get it. Like, they seemed like Curry was, obviously he was tired. So he's kind of the exception to this answer, but like they just seemed gassed at every level. And like Serbia was just running track around them. It's just so interesting because like, yet we have this whole thing about the international surge in basketball. And while it's true, the outcome, clearly continues to be the same. The U.S. is on top every single Olympics for the last, since 2004. Look, I can't not, like, I appreciate giving. I'm glad Shannon gave Embiid some love there, but I'm just not. I'm going to do it now and get it out of the way. It's just funny to me, like, it's the highest stake game that he's ever been in his career, and it's a game to get them to the gold medal game. Like, there was moments where like he would, like, I'll give you an example, right? I love Noah Eagle. I think he's incredible. He takes after his dad very well. He's the guy commentating this. And Dwayne Wade's not, we've all heard recently, Dwayne Wade's not the greatest commentator in the world, but yeah, he's doing his job. They're kind of thin there. They mentioned on an Embiid.
By the way, not to cut you off, D-Wade slander is not acceptable on Out of Pocket. Just
he's a terrible commentator.
I forgot to throw that rule in there.
Sorry, I'm being honest.
Football player, come on, man.
He's a terrible commentator.
You're watching the same thing we watching in MD.
You're hearing it. Yeah, the D-Wade thing is like you just need to just.
He'll get better with time, guys.
He even admitted
he'll age like fine wine.
He even admitted it himself. He even said he's not the best commentator himself in the Brazil game.
Yeah, we don't need a catchphrase for everything. We just don't.
Yes.
But there was less of commentary of Wade. This was actually what Eagle said. But there was an Embiid turnover, which he had a few, on a pick and roll entry pass. A pass that like is pretty Curry cuts to the basket. And Eagle says like, Embiid's not used to playing with a guy like Curry running around being so active. I'm like, are we really stretching? And this is Noah Eagle, who's really good. I love Noah Eagle, right? Takes after his dad a lot. We're really giving Embiid these kinds of excuses where like he's not used to playing with a guy. Tyrese Maxey, I don't know, one of the most fast and active guys in the NBA, maybe not cutting to the three-point line as much as Curry would, but we're giving this guy like these hand-picked excuses about like these little things, and he's turning the ball over off his leg or throwing it away in these big Olympic moments, which tracks back to the fact this is the biggest game or moment he's ever been in. And it's a game to get them to the gold medal game. It's not even the real game. Like, it's not even the one that's going to put him on. Now, look, he could do, on Sunday or whatever it is, he could go and have like a ridiculous 30 and 10 and I'm whatever. It is what it is. But he's not. He's not built for this kind of thing. That's why Curry is the perfect player for the Olympics. To answer your question, Mike, I had to get the Embiid thing out of the way because Shannon put it up on a silver platter for me. Is like they just KD said it in an interview yesterday. Like, they just need to have more physicality quicker in the games. They need to get into a game physically a lot earlier. And I don't know why they don't. They continue to do this. And yet, at the end of the day, it's not always, look, at every level, talent's not always going to win out, but we're the best and we're the most talented country in the world when it comes to basketball, no matter what the international surge has been like. And at the end of the day, I don't know how or why they keep doing what they're doing. Maybe it's some of it needs to be looked at with Kerr and some of the adjustments in the lineups and why they'll put these lineups in where it's like Bam, AD against, by the way, when they're in the middle of a hot shooting stretch, Serbia was Bam, AD, Derek White. Like, there was just some weird lineup stuff in the middle of that run where that was like, once they put Devin Booker back in, he hit a couple of threes. Once they got Curry back in after some rest, like, that was when they turned it around. I honestly can't give you an answer on why they did it. And they just need to be grateful that they were able to come back from that and then be ready, because France is not going to be an easy contest.
One thing that said also too, Draymond Green tweeted this and said sometimes those lineups don't work and you got to scrap them. And that was something that had to be done. Now, on the Embiid thing, to be honest with you, I don't want to give that man any type of slack because I think he's salt as pond water. To be honest with you, I really think he is, because of the fact that during this time frame, hold on, wait, Trevor. I know, I get it. I know you're ready to do it. I know you're ready to chime in.
No, it's about Draymond. It's about Draymond. It's fine.
Okay. Well, that too. Well, you can get him all day long because you already know what it is with him. But with Embiid, he's soft as pond water. We all know this. He can ball all day long, but when he's on the floor, he can ball. But when you're not on the floor, bro, we don't know what to tell you, because Philadelphia hadn't been able to get over the hump because of that. Only thing I'm saying is that the man had three choices to where to play basketball in these Olympics, and he picked the right choice, obviously, in my heart of hearts, because France is stacked without him. Cameroon, I'll leave that alone. And then
he said it himself. He's like they might not even make the Olympics, and right. He was right. So
yeah, it was the obvious. It was the smart move, in my opinion, because I mean, Wembanyama, of course, is going to be looked at the most out of any player in this Olympics. We all know that. Sorry about that, LeBron, and sorry about that, Chef. Sorry about that, but it's obvious. The man is 7'5" and he's gifted. And he plays differently. He plays different basketball at 7'5". Of course, you're going to see this dude. Of course, you're going to watch him. With that being said, Gobert is there. They don't need an Embiid. They don't need it. The U.S. needs an Embiid. And to be honest with you, they don't really need him either. Let's be honest. But if he was going to France, then he would not be playing at all. They would be happy, and they wouldn't be on his back and beating the crap out of him with the booze. But other than that, that's about it. But I'm just saying he's playing against two. He's playing against that crowd and the opponent. So it's tough.
They would have to figure it out, because the Gobert rotation stuff is interesting too. Like, Gobert's an incredible Olympic player, and so it's a great point. I don't know what France. I do not have envy for the France coach figuring that out. Talking about bad commentators, Draymond Green, right? Like, you brought up Draymond Green. This is the same Draymond Green, by the way, that said that he would take the 2024 Dream Team over the 1992 Dream Team. And I'm like, I thought that's where you were going when you brought him up. I really did. I'm like, how about bad commentary? That's bad. Like, that 92 team, they went on like a 47-1 run at one point. Yes. They didn't go down by less than was 26 at one point. It's like, it's stupid. It's the best team we've ever seen ever. Yes. Like, there's literally, without a doubt, they are why basketball is what it is internationally, to tie this all together. And to think that this 2024 team is down to Serbia and a bunch of dudes that I'm getting texts about, these guys should be in the NBA. I'm like, there's a reason they're not. There's a reason they're not. And I'm like, Jokic was incredible. Obviously, the foul trouble is what it is. Embiid actually play a big part in that. So did Anthony Davis. Anytime they brought in Anthony Davis in small spurts to put on Jokic, it was like the whole frame of how their offense had to change. And it was really cool to see. And obviously, when you're that deep and that good of a team like the U.S. is, kind of hammering the point here, you have flat-out flexibility. It's just that they can't get it done against France. They're going to have to come out the gates competitive, play tough, and they're going to have to be able to understand, okay, if France changes the lineup quickly to something like, very few do they go small, but like, if they do, how quickly can we adjust to it, and when can we put out a Derek White, a Drew Holiday, that kind of thing.
And that's the
And it's an international game on top of that, too. It's international rules on top of that. Of course, these guys are going to flourish because they've been playing international ball forever. So, of course, they're going to flourish. Of course, Serbia is going to hit the shots that they're going to be hitting. Of course, they are, because they've all played together for a long time as well, too, as of the U.S. squad that was a grab bag of guys. Not saying that they can't play together because they've played with each other. They have. But not with like these Serbian guys and these other guys in these other countries that have developed synergy playing together. So, of course they're gonna shine. They're gonna look good. But go ahead, Mike. My bad.
No, you're good. And to think of, like, we've talked about, several different players, and we haven't even, touched on LeBron. Like, I swear everything LeBron does, it will always be attached to his legacy, impacting his legacy, whether it's, the NBA, whether it's the playoffs, whether it's Olympic ball, whether what he posts on social media, whether it's what he has for coffee in the morning, what time he has coffee in the morning, like all of this stuff goes into like his legacy, right? And then we're talking about France not even needing a MVP caliber Joel Embiid if he is not 100% right now. He hasn't been 100% in about a year or so, which is really sad, but he's still an MVP caliber player. And they're like, France doesn't need him because they got Victor Wembanyama. Like, we're looking at a Serbia team with Nikola Jokic. They got bounced in the semifinals. Let Team USA come back. You have, guys on Team USA like Anthony Edwards, who's trying to make that next leap, with LeBron trying to cement his entire legacy. And then France, like, everybody's starting to crown Victor Wembanyama as the next face of the NBA. If he was to lead Team France to a gold medal against this stacked Team USA roster, where we're like, a few weeks ago, we were trying to figure out like what the starting five for Team USA was. Like, I mean, there's so many different combinations. Like, that's how good that team looks on paper. Like, how do you think this could end up, especially with the gold medal game of like, could it tarnish anyone on Team USA if they were to lose versus, Victor Wembanyama? If he was to win, would that put him on that next level in terms of players?
Trevor? I'm not sneezing wrong. Like, if he sneezes right, that's going to change the way we look at Victor Wembanyama, to Shannon's point earlier. No, I don't think this changes anything with these USA guys. A lot of them are already 2, 3, whatever time. KD, I think this be his 4th or something crazy like that. Gold medal. Like, who cares? Like, at the end of the day, like, people are looking at the gold medal as like this, triple crown. Like, did you win an MVP? Did you win this? Did you win a gold medal? It's like, it's awesome. It is. Represent your country. But I'm not going to care any more or less about people's legacy if they don't win a gold medal. Like, sure, guys like Carmelo, we look at as this, like, wow, he's the greatest, like, Olympian, and still to this moment he is, but the greatest, Olympic player ever. I'll stand on that. People have been fighting over that for weeks, but I'm not going to, like, sure, I'll use it to elevate him, but then I'm not going to use it to tear down someone else. Because at the end of the day, like, unless there's this 2004 catastrophic event with the U.S. basketball team where we had to, like, fire everybody, bring in Colangelo, like, there was all, like, things had to change in 04, right? And I don't, like, it. We over-evaluate this stuff sometimes. I think we really do. And at the end of the day, like, if France does it, is it going to be incredible? Sure. It's also a home game. I don't know. It's kind of something to think about. I don't know. Not every American could just on a whim get over there to France, when French guys and fans can just kind of roll in there. And I mean, the tickets are like $1 billion. Like, Travis Scott and Michael Rubin are sitting courtside together, right? Those tickets were stupid, but France has got a home game there. I'm not using this as an excuse. I think we'll win, but I don't know. I think we over-evaluate the legacy stuff sometimes, even though there are a lot of guys that we need to think about their legacy because they're at that age. Like, Curry needs this really, because at the end of the day, he's been a really good player for the Olympics, but this would be kind of the one, especially with the 36 points to get them there to the gold medal game. He probably needs this the most. Is the only guy I'd really be kind of keeping an eye on.
Now, we're having these panel here today because Shannon and I were on the 2 Pointers podcast with some NBA trivia. And so I wanted to throw a curveball at Trevor, and I wanted to ask Trevor a question about basketball, a trivia question, and I am putting him on the spot because why not, And I wanted to ask him and put him on the spot of asking, their legacies have been tied together for quite some time. LeBron James, Michael Jordan, who has the most gold medals and who has the most medals, period, between the two?
Okay, so I feel like this is kind of a trick question, but the way we used to do the Olympic structure, what made 92 so unique was we used to send college guys over there. So obviously Jordan around the time, if they 92 would have put him at what? He would have been a freshman at Carolina the last time we were there. Or like, 2 times before that, he would have been young in the NBA. We probably won a gold medal with him before that, but I would have thought he would have probably had it. I'm talking it out. Shannon knows where I'm going with it, I think. But I mean, LeBron has more medals, and there's probably like this. It's probably this like trick to mess with Shannon because of Mike versus LeBron. I know you and I probably favor LeBron there, Michael. But I mean, to answer your question, LeBron probably has more total medals. Jordan probably has more golds for whatever reason. It's probably stupid like that, but it's probably not right.
So your final answer is I know
LeBron has more medals. LeBron, I think you're trying to trick me. I think LeBron has more medals because that would be sheer lunacy if he didn't. And then Jordan probably has more golds, even though, because I guess LeBron's been on every gold team since he was on the 04 team, which was a bronze for him. So I'd say he probably has the most, but Jordan has more golds.
Okay, Shannon, you look like you were like, come on, I'm ready to cook. What does Shannon think about that question?
I was thinking the same thing. So, yeah, I was thinking the same.
Yeah. Okay. Well, LeBron does have more medals, 3-2, but they both have 2 gold medals.
So I'm right because it's technically a trick question.
No.
Stupid.
If you enjoyed that trivia question, I promise Trevor had a lot better trivia questions on his 2 Pointers podcast. They have their own YouTube channel. It's pretty exciting. We do the whole whiteboard thing. I actually had a notebook, and Trevor liked how I drew in there and advertised and promoted marketing. He loved my handwriting. He was probably thinking I write like a teenage girl, but it's okay. Like at least it was neat and well written. And yeah, that's all I'll say about that. And see who knows more about basketball, me or Shannon, in that NBA trivia episode. I do want to touch on this NBA news that broke literally like an hour or 2 after Out of Pocket ended on Tuesday. Lauri Markannen staying in Utah, and people overreact when it comes to these contract extensions of like, oh my gosh, they're paying him so much money. How are they paying him so much money? Or, 5 years, they get Lauri Markannen there for the next 5 years. We all know that's not how contracts work. I'm actually surprised Lauri Markannen wasn't moved here this offseason, instead signed a 5-year extension. So my question to you guys, how long do you think Lauri Markannen stays in Utah after signing this 5-year extension? Shannon, what are your initial thoughts?
Well, with it being the Western Conference and the Western Conference being the way that it has been built with Denver, Minnesota, you've got the Lakers looming as well too, and then you don't know what you're going to get out of I just left my head
Sacramento question mark?
Maybe Sacramento, maybe them, but OKC. You don't know what you get out of OKC as well.
You could have said any West team. They're all really good. So.
Pretty much. I'm going to give the benefit of the doubt and say 3 years. And that's being generous in my heart of hearts because Lauri can play, but Lauri needs pieces around him because it is the Western Conference. That's the biggest thing for me. If it would have been another Eastern Conference squad, if he would have been with, per se, the Philadelphia 76ers, he probably would finish out his contract because he would have a better chance of winning the Eastern Conference. No knock to the East, but the West is just built differently. So I'm going to say 3 to be generous.
I'm going to go with the track record of Danny Ainge, who 17 years, he's a guy that would get really close on a lot of deals, get really close on trading a caliber of guy like Lauri Markanen, and instead give him the contract. The other reason I'll say that he probably sticks it out for most of it, and I say most of it, like he probably gets traded, the last year of it. This conversation can get brought up in 4 years. Cool, right? Really hard to project that. It's an interesting question. However, he did sign the extension at a time where now you can't obviously be traded in the first 6 months of your extension, which now guarantees that he will not be able to be moved until the offseason of this next year. So he's a Utah Jazz for the entirety of the 24-25 season. He cannot be traded before the deadline. So that obviously adds a full year to that. So then you have 4. You think Danny Ainge is going to try to get the rebuild together year 2, 3, 4 of the contract. At that point, I'm saying like 80% chance he probably gets, he probably makes it to the end of the contract, but it'd be because he got traded in the final year. Maybe they didn't win it. Maybe they blew it up. Maybe it's an injury. Obviously, history tells us he's not going to be a Utah Jazz forever, but Danny Ainge's history tells us he probably will be.
Well, that's a good analysis right there, reminding people that Lauri Markannen will be a Utah Jazz member for this year. It's nothing as simple as like a sign trade. Like that's not how contract extensions work, especially ones of Lauri Markkanen's caliber.
Well, they took so long. It's 6 months from the day you sign it. And so all the ones a month ago, they're going to be eligible trade deadline. They're going to be eligible guys that technically can get moved. And so they structured the deal where I don't know if Danny Ainge did this on purpose. I don't know if it's because I know they had tried to trade him. That's not on. I mean, that's on every record that they tried to trade him already. And he said in the interview with ESPN after it went out that he's just glad he can focus on basketball now. It's a full year where they can try to win games. And look what they did when he had not the same level of contract. That first year there, they were really, really good for long stretches. So
this comment is. The present challenge is Aaron Pat Riley with the slick back hair look today. You can definitely tell he's a Heat fan. I mean, that's not what I was going for, but I'm sure Pat Riley will take the compliment.
Pat Riley had a clean shaven face. But.
Yeah.
You guys, nah, I can't go. See, I got my hair slicked back right here. Yeah. I look like I got my hair pulled out, ready to run routes because the NFL season is finally here. Finally. Like, guys, it is a grind to get through the summer months. Let me tell you, like, we got baseball. Thankfully, we had the Olympics this year. My wrestling fans, we have that year-round, 365 days a year. Went to AEW Dynamite in Winston-Salem last night. Got to see Clara Carter, who, we've commentated for with SCC. She made her AEW debut. I'm shocked she lost to Camille, even though Clara had a tag team partner. But you know what? It's okay. We'll see. We'll probably see her a lot more. She's super talented, super excited for what she's got going ahead of her. Hopefully we get to commentate another one of her matches at SCC. We're going, yeah. Sweet. Let's go.
Now, if they got the poster wrong, then that's on them. But she's on the poster for when she comes to September.
Bet. Let's go. We got another show in September next month. So that's exciting. But what's happening tonight, you don't have to wait for the Carolina Panthers, New England Patriots kicking off the NFL preseason tonight. Unless you count the Hall of Fame game that was like okay, and they got like 3 quarters in, they're like, it's nasty, let's just call it. What's very interesting right now is we were all on that trivia showdown, and we were all covering these teams or a fan of these teams. So me and Shannon were covering the Panthers last year on our Panthers podcast. Trevor Everett, for some reason, is a New England Patriots fan. Still haven't put that one together. But it's probably because of Tom Brady. And you notice the picture I purposefully used on the graphic on our screen right here, if you're watching on the Boom Broadcasting YouTube channel, was with that's Rob Gronkowski.
Oh, that's hard to tell. Okay, never mind.
That's an 87. Come on, man. That's out of pocket right there.
Wrong Patriots side in. My bad.
I mean, they had so many at one point. But yeah, Rob Gronkowski, Luke Kuechly, really hard to tell from the picture. But that is when both of these organizations were at their peak, with Tom Brady and Gronk leading the way with Bill Belichick. With the Carolina Panthers, the run they had when Cam Newton has one and only good year, his MVP year, had Luke Kuechly on defense. And that's when these organizations were at the peak. It's totally a different story now. Trevor's about to...
What did you just? Have you said that before ever?
You knew it was coming, man.
Has he ever said that before? You do.
I have said it before. I have said it before.
I'll leave it alone then. I'll leave it alone.
Yeah, I've gotten into arguments about it, and everybody else seems to be wrong. So that's totally okay. Also, Mac saying Riley was drafted by the Cowboys and he's with the Heat now. So I mean, Pat Riley's my favorite guy. Pretty much like that's the best of both worlds. Saying you were a Dallas Cowboy and you're with the Miami Heat organization. What a guy, Pat Riley. Love me some Pat Riley. But these two teams, very different stories now. Panthers had the number 1 overall pick last year after they traded with the Chicago Bears. Turns out they missed on the number 1 overall pick this year, where the Bears took Caleb Williams, also took Carolina's number 1 receiver, also took several other first-round picks, second-round picks, and then the New England Patriots ended up drafting a quarterback this year, Drake May from Shannon School, UNC, even though I think this is Mitch Trubisky 2.0. So there's some people who are confident in the trajectories of these teams. There's others who are like, this is going to be a long year. This is going to be a long couple years. So I wanted to ask you guys, of these two teams that we will see play tonight to start the preseason, who is on the best trajectory moving forward and you're most confident in for the future? Shannon, what do you think?
I would say for now it's got to be the Patriots. It has to be, because Carolina's got a show improve year, because you can't go any lower than 2 games. You can't. You can go 1, but the ceiling, Carolina's ceiling is not as high this year, because, it's like, wow, you lost all these games. If you win 4, you win 5. Okay, good. Now with the Patriots, they have a new coach, pretty much new look on the offense. They got a tough division. We have a tough division, but I think right now you got to go with New England just because.
Okay, that's actually the exact opposite. I thought you were going with that. Trevor, aka Gerard Mayo, baby. Is your new nickname? I know I said that with the different tone you probably imagine in your head, but it works. You're the Mayo baby now. Do you agree with Shannon that your Patriots are, the most optimistic when it comes to these two teams?
This is not even a question. Like, the Panthers were like closer to that Jim Caldwell Lions, like, whatever, 1-16, 1-14, 15, or 0 and whatever it was. They were closer to that team than they were a 4-win team last year, right? Like, there's a reason that they picked where they picked. Actually, the technical one. That trade is what it is, right? That trade. I love Hard Knocks because they're kind of like showing off that trade. Like, they're like, oh, Caleb, by the way, and DJ Moore, and here's 2 of the 3 or 4 guys that were, defensive players who are now starters for the Bears. It's just really funny how that kind of adds up. Shout out to Hard Knocks for always telling a good story. But yeah, it's not even a question. I mean, just on the defense alone, I know the competitive division here, not exactly the toughest competition in the NFC South, I'll say. But like, I'll just read some names of some guys that are just better defensive players than anybody the Panthers have. Christian Barmore, Matthew Judon, Jonathan Jones, Kyle Duggar, Jabril Peppers, Christian Gonzalez, Marcus Jones. That's just the guys that are going to play in the base 3-4 defense in the preseason right now. Those are guys that will end up playing, obviously, as starters later this year. It doesn't even mention some of the second-string guys, Joshua Uche, guys like that. It's not even a question. And you can say what you want. Like, I'm open to hearing anything about quarterback because we haven't seen, we've seen a whole year of Bryce Young, and we'll see what happens. But we've seen nothing out of Drake May yet. And at the end of the day, you just have to give him the benefit of the doubt until he steps on the field, basketball guy talking football. And then we'll see what happens. But I think he's a better player. He had better stats in college. He was a better overall thrower than Mitch Trubisky ever could or would be. And so let's start off with that being the biggest difference between the two. And then from there, this is a good defense led by Gerard Mayo, baby.
And you have to look at the franchise that Mitchell Trubisky went to. He went to Chicago. Let me ask you a question. When was the last Chicago quarterback that was relevant?
Can I ask you this? You want a trivia question?
Caleb Williams.
Hold on. No, he's right. Shannon's right. Let me ask you this. Who was the last Bears quarterback to throw for 4,000 yards in a season?
Jim Miller.
None of them have ever done it. Not a single one of them.
Rex Grossman was close. Rex Grossman.
But the fact that none of them have ever done that.
None of them.
Like, guys, come on.
Hey.
Caleb might not do it.
Don't. Yeah, Caleb's definitely doing it, especially with the roster he has right now.
What does history tell us?
Until Chicago builds a sustainable football team, we can talk. They've not built
it. Thank you.
You can't really blame Rex Grossman or any of those guys. Rex Grossman was the closest guy. He got to the Super Bowl with Chicago, and then they got doors blown off of him. So there you have it.
To be fair, that was the Colts and Peyton Manning. Like,
and I mean that's
that
which adds to my point. You know, it's the fact of look. Chicago's not built a squad that's sustainable. They play in a tough division. NFC North has been tough. The Packers have ran that division for a long time. And Chicago, the year that Aaron Rodgers got hurt, Detroit was close, and then Aaron Rodgers come back and resurrected that squad and went to the playoffs and kicked Detroit out. That was funny. It was
hilarious.
It was hilarious, dude, because Detroit's sitting here like, we're there. Then Aaron Rodgers says, no, you're not. And then just kicks the door open and says, all right, guys, see us in the playoffs. You know, have a seat and watch. And, you know, Chicago just sat there the whole time just looking up like, I wish it was us.
I will say how crazy of a stat that is. Like, I wouldn't expect, like, Rex Grossman to have thrown 4,000 yards that Super Bowl year. But, like, as many times as Jay Cutler, like, Jay Cutler at least was sustainable. Like, that's where they were able to, like, you know, hey, we have a consistent quarterback. Good, bad, or indifferent.
Brandon
He's going to be the starter.
D. Marsh was crazy good, and they just...
Dude. And they even, like, got them back together after their years in Denver. And the fact that Jay Cutler never threw for 4,000 yards is kind of crazy. It's kind of silly. I disagree with both of you guys in the, you know, with the question. Max saying, unless they get the 49ers wide receiver.
Or not.
More Brandon Ayuk. We talked about Brandon Ayuk the other day, purposefully while Shannon wasn't on here. He's raising his hand. I don't know why. Are you acting like I'm the substitute teacher and you're asking to speak in class?
Yes, may I?
You may.
Since we're on the topic of Brandon Ayuk, I know that I've sat here a million times and said that he is not going anywhere. As a resident 49er fan, the only one that has been shown except for one Ben Camperman on Out of Pocket, and that's my dude. Shout out to him. I am ready for Brandon Ayuk to leave.
What?
I'm ready.
I don't blame you. He's been asking for a contract or trade forever.
And lay it out to you, and I will tell you why, Mike. So get that look off your face. I'm going to go ahead and hit you with some things right here. And Colin Cowherd was the guy that did it for me. Let me tell you, you have an offensive coach that is a genius of getting you wide open. One of the main reasons why you got wide open, because of the scheming, the run game, the play action play, you were wide open. I'm not taking anything away from what that man has done physically to himself, what he has learned, and how good of a football player he is. But the scenario that you are in, you go to Cleveland. You have no coach that is going to get you wide open as much as my man Kyle Shanahan has done. There is no way you're going to get that wide open with a Baltimore Ravens defense that will eat you, with a Pittsburgh defense that will eat you as well too, which is probably the squad he's going to go to. Honestly, if he does go to Pittsburgh won't go anywhere because Mike Tomlin can't get him open. Not like Kyle Shanahan can. Mike Tomlin is a defensive coach. He's not an offensive specialist. He has not been an offensive specialist ever in his life. He's had very good offensive coordinators that has done the job for him, and that is good with me. And I love Mike Tomlin. I love that man. I do.
Canada would like a word, but
yeah. But see, the thing is, he's a heck of a coach. But the fact that is, you go be a man. You asked Devontae Adams how that went when he chased the bag and went to the Ravens. Talk to me. You asked Tyreek Hill how that went for him. Kansas City won a Super Bowl without him.
Fair. Yeah, I was like, where are you going with this? He's the highest paid receiver in the NFL, and he's incredible.
And not only that, the squad that traded him beat the squad he was on. You let Brandon Ayuk go to another squad, and I guarantee, as we speak today, he will not have the numbers that he had in San Francisco. He will see double teams. He will see spies from the safeties. He will see them. You have a monster of an offense with Deebo Samuel, with Christian McCaffrey, one Brock Purdy that can move the motion with the play action, with a George Kittle, and 2 other running backs behind him. Okay, man, go there and be the man and see what happens.
Well, this is interesting because Max saying reports are Steelers and Commanders are out on him, which means
I don't care.
Go for him. Take him.
Yeah.
Look, I think Shannon is best point ever. Like, he's 100% right with all the stuff with the Niners, except if he goes and Drake May is throwing touchdowns to him. He'll lead.
Trevor's like, I'll throw a little bias in there.
That'll be a better the other teams. Let me explain something else to you. If he goes to Pittsburgh, do you trivia question since we're on the trivia right here? What play was Pittsburgh in the NFL in big plays last year?
They were dead last. It's Matt Canada's fault.
26th in the NFL.
Basically last, yeah.
Here's another question. Where was San Francisco's number at in big plays last year? What place were they in?
It's like 3.
Top 3, yeah. Yeah.
They were not 1. Miami had more.
Big plays.
Sure?
Big plays.
Yeah, I'm not surprised.
Look it up. Look it up.
Big plays, 20+ yards, right?
Look it up and talk to me.
Wow.
Look it up and talk to me.
I believe it.
I watched that squad all year. Guarantee you. Look it up today and talk to me. They were number 1 in big plays last year.
Trevor's on the research wagon right now. I saw him typing.
In big plays.
I did not. My hands are right. We're good.
Number 1 in big. Guarantee you. Big plays.
Okay, sorry if they're third. Like Michael, he's right. I mean, he's 100% right.
And even if they were third, 3 is better than 26.
That's fair. That's fair.
So you take your ball and go over there if you want to, and I guarantee you will not sniff 1,000 yards.
Look, Ayuk's good. He is. But let's not treat him like a Devontae Adams anyway.
This is what you fail to realize right here, guys. I don't want him to leave. He gives us a better chance. But if he leaves, it's not going to be the end of the world if he goes. That's what needs to be understood about this whole thing. So me being a fan, and I loved San Francisco, and I watched him. He could have been John Taylor and could have been Jerry Rice with Deebo Samuel all day long, and they could have been perennial back-to-back NFC Championship going to the Super Bowl. But you want to be the man, and being the man is going to cost you. It is going to cost you. It's going to cost you time, money, and your career. And you go right ahead and do it. Please do. Because I guarantee you in another 4 and 5 years when this contract is done, you'll want to come back. You'll miss what you had. I guarantee you Devontae Adams would love to go back to Green Bay in a heartbeat.
Well, that clip of him talking about the quarterback showed us that. I mean, look, but when the check clears, clearly that's Ayuk's priority right now. And when the check clears, he's not going to care. He's just not.
I get it. I really do. But, this is one thing you have to choose between. You want the money, you want the legacy. It depends. And I'm okay with that. Whatever he wants is whatever he wants. He's his own man. But it depends on what he wants at the end of the day. If he wants the bag, good. If he wants to win, why are you going to leave?
I mean, 49ers haven't won a Super Bowl, but that's beside the point.
They've seen one. We can do this all day long, sweetheart. I got time.
Well, Max saying it's all about the bling, not the ring.
Yeah.
Isn't that the same thing?
No.
The bling and the ring? The same thing?
I mean, yeah, it was sort of. It's just
actually, it's
the same thing.
It's fair. It's all right.
Oh man, I love your father. I really do. But I mean,
it's about the bling, not the cha-ching.
There you go.
I can fix it.
I know where his heart's at. I know where your dad's heart's at. I do.
Well, we'll have our Dad and the Boys episode where we talk Cowboys tomorrow. It drops at noon. Excited for you guys to listen and be a part of that. But also something happening tomorrow is this giveaway, College Football 25. Be sure to hit that subscribe button. If you're not in it by the end of today and we announce it tomorrow, what are you doing? You just missed out on your chance for a free $70 video game. So we're just wanting to be nice. We're just wanting to show our support. We're wanting to show our love. And we're really impatient because we have more giveaways to do. So be sure you get yourself entered into this giveaway. It's super easy, super simple. And yeah, gives you a chance to win that game. We'll announce that tomorrow on Out of Pocket, so you'll want to come back here to see if you won, who won, and it's going to be exciting time. Be sure you also check out that trivia episode with Trevor Everett hosting me versus Shannon. And he's like, we can go all day, sweetheart. We'll see if he can go all day in NBA trivia. And if not, then who knows? Maybe I'll give him a prize or a consolation, or give him a couple free words in the swear jar or something. So it's super exciting time. Out of Pocket will be back on tomorrow, exclusive to the Boom Broadcasting YouTube channel. Excited. Go follow my guys, Trevor Everett, 2 Pointers Podcast, Shane Smith, podcast_Smitty. He dropped a quick hits yesterday, and we guys will see you back here on Out of Pocket tomorrow afternoon.